invitation. And it is the first sign the days of easy money are coming to a close. The Fed starts to tap the brakes on stimulus, raising the interest rate it charges banks. The discount rate, the emergency rate for banks, is now 0.75%. But the Fed says this is not the signal that it plans to start raising rates for consumers and other borrowers. So we want to talk about this because the markets are reacting to it. For an instant on it, we go to Fox Business contributor Charles Payne and Yu-Dee Chang, the principal trader at Ace Investment. Yu-Dee, you first. I think the traders, the people who are looking at federal funds market, they're overreacting. There is no increase coming from the FOMC in the federal funds rate, and this raise in the discount rate isn't really going to have any kind of impact economically. It's forcing banks to go to each other to borrow, not to the Fed. Yeah,
there's definitely schools of thought, right? One is exactly taking what Fed said at the face value, saying this is a move to normalize its operations. Doesn't mean there's going to be high interest rates to come. Of course, the second school of thought, some traders are looking into it today, is that, wow, this may be the beginning of the Fed tightening cycle, which I don't believe is the case either.
If we talk about tightening cycle, Charles, I mean, 0.75%. 2 years ago, it was over 6%. So, I mean, we're still easy money. This is like, forgive me, but this is like somebody with a drug addiction saying, I'll stop using the heroin in a year. Saying, I'm going to get on track, but not for a year.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. Or, skipping that morning fix, but there's always the afternoon. I agree with you. There is a weird overreaction. I think that's sort of reflective of this overarching angst that's lingering in the market. It was fading a little bit post-earnings season, and that we kicked the can on grease down the road a little bit. I think we'll see if the market can adjust itself. I will say, though, I like when the market does this in a way, because I like to see the market tested. I want to see it open down and then come back. I loved yesterday's session. The market, it was a little wishy-washy, but it built up momentum into the close. It wasn't the first time this week it's done that. So this might actually be a good test for the market, although I agree the initial reaction seems ridiculous.
Well, won't traders, Yu-Dee, as they come to realize that this is not the big increase or the beginning of the increases that they fear, especially when you look at, Jenna brought this up with you in the last hour, James Bullard, Federal Reserve Bank president out of St. Louis, said, you're not going to see an interest rate rise. When we talk about interest rates rising, we're talking about the federal funds rate, the one that impacts the interest rates you and I have to pay. That's not coming until at least 2011. And he said it's as far off as it's ever been.
Yeah, I think what surprised people it really isn't the move, right? Bernanke last week pretty much already signaled that they're mulling it over. I think what surprised most people is the timing of it in between the FOMC meeting. They were expecting maybe on March 16th for the Fed to make this move. I think that surprised people a little bit, and that's why market's reacting to that a little bit.
Do you think we're going to start seeing the spread, though, between long-term and short-term borrowing start to come down, and the banks aren't going to be able to make the kind of profits they used to make?
No, they're not going to be able to. But to your point, I still see this as being a longer term, playing out over a longer period of time. Just the sort of things that they need to see, particularly on the employment side, just haven't materialized yet.
So if you had a client call you today and said, "Oh my God, the Fed is on. Here we go," what would you say to that person?
Well, I say, this is a perfect opportunity to buy on dips, right? We're supposed to buy low and sell high. Market is going low. Thank you for the opportunity.
You think we're going to see a reaction back into positive territory as people realize what's really happening?
I think so. I think that could really happen. And again, I hope it happens, and I agree 1,000%. I see it as presenting an opportunity.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We will come back to this discussion, I am sure, throughout the morning, but we have to move on.